All right, word problems, your guys' absolute favorites, right? Just kidding. I'm not even going to pretend that you guys like them because I know you don't. So this says you work in a grocery store and you are stacking apples in the shape of a square pyramid with 7 layers. Write a rule for the number of apples in each layer. So think squares. So 1 is 1 squared, correct? So 2 squared would be 4, right? Then 3 squared is 9, and I have to make sure to form these out. These are my mini apples in squares, right? Now, if we layered them on top of each other, it would work out because then you would have that layer sit in there and then that gap for that last row. We need to go ahead and logically put this in a table. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call my layers n, because we are using sequences. And if you look in that core concept, sequences are almost always used as n and a of n for the outputs. So the layer is my n, and my number of apples is a of n. Okay, so my first layer we already looked at, I'm going to have 1. My second layer, how am I going to have? Well, 2 squared is 4. Then 3 squared is 9. And then we'll go ahead. We have to go all the way to 7. 4 squared is 16. 5 squared is 25. 6 squared is 36. And 7 squared is 49. Aren't you guys glad you know your squares? All right, so what we have to do is we now have to graph it. That's the last piece. Oh, we should probably write our rule. Our rule, which you guys looked at, is this a of n equals my layer I'm on, which is n squared. And that's it. So graphing, that's the next piece. If you remember in the prior example, I explained that your graphs are not going to be connected because you don't have a 1.5 layer or a 2.5 layer in these types of things. So what we're going to do is we're going to strictly look at these points and we will not connect the line. We call that finite or continuous and discrete. You guys probably recognize continuous means the line keeps on going, and discrete means it's just those points. All right, so we've got, I should actually make this line a little lower, just so I can fit more on. All right, red, because we're doing apples. All right, 1, 1. How come I don't have a layer 0? Well, that doesn't exist, okay? 2 is at 4. 3 is at 9. I think that's 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep. And then 4 is 16, and then we're already off our graph. So they're going to keep on going out here in what you would visualize to be a curve. However, we do not connect them, and you just have points. Okay? Don't make a curve. Okay, they are not continuous once again, because if I looked at right here, that's like 1.5. I don't have a 1.5 layer. I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and so on and so forth in those whole numbers. So it can't be found for any value, just strictly those whole numbers.